It's minicamp and OTA season, and today we're looking at the Seattle Seahawks and getting another look at Jalen Milroe throw the rock around and work through some drills. But before we begin, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're looking at practice, rookie camp, minicamp, OTAs, training camp, everything in between, so you know what your players are doing behind the scenes. Your new rookies, those quarterback battles, those guys you're drafting in fantasy football here soon. You're going to want to know what they're doing in practice, whether or not they're winning that job or not, or if they're still playing hurt. Click that button. Stop missing out. Today, we're looking at Jalen Milroe. We've been looking at him as much as possible. We got some clips from yesterday. I threw in some older ones in the back end, starting off with the newer ones. We'll loop this and keep talking ball. Here we go. Here we go, though. There he is. She's 6 back there, if you didn't know. Jalen Milroe, I'm very excited to watch his development. I'm very excited to see how he grows in this position for the Seattle Seahawks. And if you're not aware, I'm a huge fan of watching players develop on teams and watching what they do during training camp and in the off season and how they climb the depth chart. I root for UDFAs and late round picks. I do deep fantasy football analysis, and Jalen Milroe is a fascinating prospect to me because strong arm, mobility for days, you just see it. When it came to the draft process, it was just very intriguing where he was going to go in the draft, how high he was going to get selected, how low possibly too. I think he went right draft capital where you can't feel too bad about it, but you also feel like you got a good discount due to the upside. Round 3 prospect. Seattle has a little history of round 3 prospects hitting for them. That's a good thing. We also don't have to be the guy right now. That's another good thing. I'd be a little worried if he had to be the guy right now. There's him throwing rockets. Just throwing rockets. Not rockets, but you get what I'm saying. Here's a rocket. I want to have this in every video. Right there. Just throwing deep balls. Fastball. So when you're looking at Jalen Milroe in fantasy football, right now, out of the scope for seasonal leagues, unless you're in some kind of deeper format, and that's objectively whatever format that is, like a deeper super flex, deeper best ball, you'll know because you're playing in those deeper leagues where you need to take shots on backups with upside. When you're looking at dynasty, he is a lottery ticket player with a lot of upside, and also it's format dependent. So you're looking at Superflex for sure, where he's going in ADP. You just look at ADP and you play the game, honestly. And he's going in that spot where the tiers are winding down at wide receiver and running back. But I do have a little different intel compared to everybody else. Looking at my channel and the views, that gives me an indicator of the market. It gives me the indicator of the market of other players historically. And if he sees the field whatsoever, or even gets that news blurb from Roto World and all those sites, his stock's going up and everybody's getting excited. His value will go up. So if I'm in a dynasty league where the trades are hot and heavy, quarterbacks are being held over a barrel, and I can make a move on that asset, then you may want to get him a few slots earlier. If I'm in a league where it's a little bit more relaxed, so this is dependent on your league, like I've been saying. I'm looking at my waiver wire. It's 1 QB. I can pick up QBs off the waiver wire. Maybe you want to take a shot on that running back wide receiver. Maybe, because you can money ball quarterbacks still. Really depends on your format. So with quarterbacks, they kind of got to be very broad. But if you read between the lines and look at your league, it'll help you out. Because I do not know how far this video will reach, and I want to be truthful as possible. The deeper the league, the more you want him. That is for sure. He's got upside for days. He's got Good name cachet to him. He's a good stock for that. Now, looking at him for the Seattle Seahawks, it's early in the morning. I almost said Sonics. Just the S's. It's early. That's why I'm tripping up on a few of my words. But I'm going to be keeping it real. But I'm looking at him, and I think this could be a good fit. I think we're in a good situation. We got Darnold here to start things off as a good bridge. We're adding to the team. We're transitioning too. Like DK Metcalf's gone. Lockett's done here. We're transitioning the offense as well. So we're going to... It's not even like a rebuild. It's like a retool. We're solid at the running back position. That's one thing a lot of people don't mention. Well, we know. It's like kind of like there. It's obvious. Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. But behind him, you got Martinez in this year's draft. You got some solid running backs behind those two running backs, where those running backs would be competing on other rosters. Damian Martinez, you guys got him late. I did a video on him the other day, and it was just one clip, a 5-second clip like this, but just 5 seconds because I can't get much on him. Damian Martinez, you have to understand the context of the draft versus the pick value. This was a very deep running back class. You had about 20 running backs that has like day 2 talent, high-end day 3 talent. You have like 20-some running backs, high-end day 3 talent or better. Damian Martinez, if he was in last year's class, he would have been selected a little higher, or somewhat. He would have been more valued. Let's just keep it simple. And think about that class versus this year's class. You had 2 running backs in the first round. Last year, second round, first running back selected. He only had 1 ACL. The next running back selected didn't have a 1,000-yard season. You had Blake Corum, not a bad running back, but he's a workhorse running back, a lunch pail running back, and also he was drafted in the 3rd round, where before he was selected, you had about 10 running backs deep that his talent are better. That's what you're looking at. Totally different. So when you look at the economics of the draft class, you'll have talented running backs just slip a little bit, maybe a round or 2 later than where they would go in other classes. You look at a draft capital and you're like, I don't know. This is a guy that was under-recruited coming out of high school. He was kind of an afterthought. And we go to Oregon State. We light it up early. If you watch Pac-12 After Dark, if you guys are mostly Seattle fans still watching, you know about him because you're watching Pac-12 After Dark. That's on your side of the country. Me, I watch football all day long, every day. So watching him, you knew there was something coming up with him. Rolled off 2 good seasons, hit the transfer portal. Now, you got to study the transfer portal to learn prospects too. That's an underrated thing when it comes to the NFL draft. There's very few people that talk about that and talk about the market of the transfer portal. And it might be mainly me, but I guarantee you there's somebody else out there. But when he hit the transfer portal last year, I know it's a Jalen Milroe video, but I guarantee you most of you guys are Seattle fans anyways. He was a big-time asset. You're watching people who are fans of their team just praying that he goes there. He was an asset that could turn a team around. And you knew he was going to Miami. You knew because Ward went there. You know when a quarterback of Ward's caliber or better is there, like prospects that are good are going to transfer there to get the opportunity to win a natty. And when you're playing well, you're going to be on TV more. Your stock's going to rise more. You know you're going to go there. So he went there. Like I knew all along. Like I saw Kentucky fans arguing about him because they had a slot open. I saw this and that. He went to Miami, and then we transitioned fast to Miami. We transitioned fast. One of the top guys there, cornerstone piece. So you guys are good at the running back position. How this aids Jalen Milroe, as I went deep into a story here over one of your prospects, is we have talent around him, and we're built deep at the running back position. Now you got Arroyo as well. You double-tapped Hurricanes. I got to think about your draft. Maybe you did more. He's a highly athletic tight end prospect. I think in one of my last Seattle videos, you guys asked about my thoughts on Arroyo. Highly athletic tight end prospect who excelled well at the Senior Bowl. And from accounts from what I studied, they said he was one of the better prospects there. One of the most athletic tight ends there. And he's a little bit more raw, like production-wise. Like, you wish you had a little bit more, but talent-wise, it's through the roof. So if you can just develop him, you might have a sneaky play. So that also aids this team. Tight ends take a little bit more time to develop, so give him some grace because he's learning pretty much two positions, wide receiver and offensive line, and they just call it tight end position. So give him a little bit of grace. I know we've had a few tight ends hit instantly. Brock Bowers shouldn't count. Sam Laporta had a year or two kind of slow down, but he was all right. But outside of that, the trend is they take a little bit of time. You also find tight ends hit a little bit later in their career, sometimes with their second team. Always give your tight end some grace, but you got a talented tight end. That's also saying that he won't need that time. He might hit off the rip, but I'm just letting you guys know from what I've seen over the years with tight ends, just trying to give you the true perspective. But probably as Milro's coming up, that's probably when he's going to start cooking. So if he's hitting, he's probably ready to roll together. That's another thing to look at. You guys are going to be good at the running back position, no matter what happens now. Like, the one thing about the running back position has been injuries. I like Jackson Smith-Njigba. He's a good route runner, creates separation. I think Cooper Kupp, I think you can get a little bit more out of him still. I think you got some opportunity with that. I think Jackson Smith-Njigba, people overlooked him because there was two good wide receivers already on the roster. But 2 years comes at you fast. 2 years will come at you fast. This is a deep ball city with this dude. Deep ball city. So when it comes to deep ball city and fantasy football, going back to that, you're going to get a good ADOT out of him because he's going to be aggressive downfield. They're working on him a lot. They're studying. He's in the facility early, 4 or 5 a.m. every day. He's working hard. Just allow him that time to learn. Allow him that time. He's in a good spot here. Like, you have players around him, and you got an opportunity and for him to develop. Also, they're probably going to use his mobility. They're probably going to use that. They're probably excited about that. Give him some time. Maybe he comes in back end of the season. We see what we got under the hood. Maybe we have to do that. Maybe it's next year. But the thing is, too, I want to watch the progressions between now to training camp and to next year as well. What we're hearing, what we're seeing. But Seattle Seahawks fans, let me know what you think. Are you guys drafting them in fantasy football? Are you excited to have them on the roster? I know I kind of info dumped a lot on Seattle. It's very early in the morning. I'm trying to get some stuff out. But I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.